One way my music video challenges forms and conventions of real media products would be through the choice of setting. The setting I chose was Prospect Park. This challenged the forms of the real media products of this genre, as the main setting is in a warehouse or some kind of abandoned building. The setting of a desolate warehouse is more common in this genre, as most of the videos in this genre are heavily based on performance of the band. Using a blank canvas of a setting, like an old warehouse, the audience can focus more on the performance without getting distracted by any action that may be happening in the background of the setting. My music video challenges the forms and conventions of real media products, as I have incorporated flashbacks into my video so the audience get an idea that the relationship between the couple in the narrative has been going on for a long time and that the girl had good memories of the relationship. My music video develops the forms and conventions of real media products in its narrative. It is very common in the rock genre to have some kind of relationship between one and two of the characters. This relationship is mainly between a female character and a male character. However, I developed the conventions of real media products as my narrative is a relationship between the characters that isn't used very often in this genre. The mise-en-scène of the characters within my media product uses the forms and conventions of real media products as the characters comply with the stereotypes of the genre as they dress in skinny jeans and dark colours. I believe that the combination of my main product and ancillary text is effective as they are all linked together clearly. In both the Digipack and magazine advert, the main image, which is the cover image on the Digipack, and the background image on the advert, features on both products, clearly linking them together as part of the same franchise. Another way I linked all my products together, including the music video, was through the font I used. The font features on all products in some form. I used this font as its design is typical of that of the rock genre and it looks tarnished and damaged. The continuity of the record label logo and the name was also important in effectively combining my ancillary tasks, as that meant that the products could once again be linked together as they have the same information on them. What have you learned from your audience feedback? From my audience feedback, I've learned that the way I've synced the singers and the music in the background was very appealing to the audience. But I also found out that they didn't like the fact that the camera was shaky at times. That could be improved by just using the tripod more often and maybe not using as many handheld camera angles. When I asked the audience if they felt that does the video match the genre, they thought yes. The shots of the band with their instruments really showed the genre, and the fringes and the clothing of the band members really portrayed the stereotype of the genre, which is rock/indie. When I asked the audience what they felt the improvements could be, this scene of the burning of the paper, they felt that could possibly be sped up, and maybe in the future I could experiment with that and see what kind of effect that showed. When I asked the audience if they felt that video was successful and what they thought was successful about it, they felt that the lyrics matched the narrative very well and the camera shots were relevant to the narrative as well, and they were used successfully. One example that was pointed out a lot was the idea of the phone and the idea of reading the text message. During the research and planning stages, the main media technology I used would have been my blog. I was constantly updating my blog with posts about each bit of progress I made, such as decisions on location and the cast. I also used my blog to post the notes and scripts I wrote for my deconstructions, which I eventually recorded and ready to put on my DVD as DVD extras. Another important media technology I used in my research and planning stage was the internet, YouTube in particular. I merged both my blog and YouTube together by posting links to YouTube videos of the music videos I deconstructed, so they could be so the audience can see the music videos themselves and see where I've raised various points in my analysis. I also posted a link on my blog of my audience feedback questionnaire into what they would want in a music video by changing the format of the questionnaire from a regular Word document. I chose to display it in the form of a slideshow reel to make it more interesting. In the construction stage, the recording equipment such as a camera and tripod were vital in creating the music video. The editing of the film in the construction stage required a lot more use of media technologies. Final Cut Pro was the editing software I used for my music video. I used this media technology to create a home video, super 8mm footage effects on my video. The first video filter I used to create the effect on Final Cut Pro was Gaussian blur with a radius of 2. I then used the add noise filter and changed the setting to 14. Then changed the type to Gaussian noise film grain, which is a uniform colour. Then I changed the blend mode to subtract. After that, I adapted the colour of the video to a T-stained colour using the colour correction freeway filter. Finally, I added the flicker filter to max and added the strobe effect to the setting of 2. I had to follow each of these steps for each clip to make sure that the colour had the same amount of staining so they flowed together seamlessly. I used media technologies in my evaluation stage, so I recorded a direct address to the camera, so the recording can then be edited of mistakes and then added to DVD extras, just like the deconstructions and focus group from the research and planning stage.